Hey guys, in today's video, I will be painting the Australian favorite, the golden wattle. This flower is so special for us here in Australia because it's actually a winter flower. It blooms around July all over the country, and it's got this gorgeous way to provide this symbol of hope, of color in one of the coldest months. This is what we'll be painting. It's a simple one, just one layer, and I hope you enjoy watching the video. Let's get started. Let's start with my supplies. As usual, I have my paint, my beautiful, messy, crazy palette, spraying it down with my water. 2 cups of water here. As you can tell, they're not clean, they're a bit muddy, but that's how I roll. I don't replace them till they get quite gross. A little napkin or towel, and for most of the painting today, I'm going to use my size 6 Princeton Heritage round brush with a pointy tip. And for paper, I have my Arches pad of 12 sheets. Arches is top quality watercolor paper. You can use any watercolor paper you have. If you have 100% cotton, great. If you don't, that's fine as well. Let's just get started. I am going to go into my yellow. So I have here a never mind. It's a yellow. It's a light transparent yellow. This one's Mission Gold. And I don't even have enough space for this one, but I'm just gonna go into that and putting my first wattles down. All right, so some people like to start with the stem, some people like to start with the flowers. I like to go in straight away with placement of some of these flowers first, and then I have a stem that connects them all. So how do I get these wattle round shapes going? Really just using my pointy bit of the brush, just making round circles. So just creating different sizes, different placements, overlapping some of them, wiping off your brush to get a lighter hue. Oh, see what happens when you don't change your water? It becomes a bit muddy, but that is totally fine. Sometimes you get a bit of muddy wattle, muddier hue in the flower anyway. All right, so just going in and placing the flower, the little beautiful furry fuzzy buds all around. Changing up the hue often, so sometimes we go in a bit lighter, sometimes we go a bit darker. And then maybe just dipping into my slightly warmer yellow cadmium. And offering a bit of a different hue of yellow. So I'm pausing here at this moment to decide if I want to add a leaf here at this point. Leaf or stems. And I think I will go for a leaf. So grabbing a bit of olive green that I have, mixing it up. Actually, no, I'm gonna just start with a bit of a stem here. So just pulling a stem out from where I started the flowers. So I have a bit of a structure now. Okay, then going back into that olive green. Okay, and I'm gonna just pull one leaf out from this side. The first big the first big thing that you paint when you lay down on your paper is always a little nerve-wracking because it's just suddenly taking up so much space and you're like, ah! Is that right? I'm gonna grab some burnt umber, and I feel like I want to connect these wattle buds to some kind of a stem while the flowers are still a tiny bit wet. You don't want it to be too wet because then it'll just be one big mess. But you want it to just be tad wet so that you can still have a bit of very fun bleeding action. I'm feeling like this brush is a bit too small for my leaf, so I'm going to grab my size 12. And I'm gonna go and pull up a couple more leaves. Okay, so I'm gonna do a leaf here. I know it's quite crazy to go and do a leaf at the back of these flowers, but that will create just a bit of interest. Oops, just soaking up a little bit of that over here. And one more leaf here. And the really fun thing about a lot of these leaves that you find in Australian native trees is they're all a bit chewed up sometimes by insects, by all kinds of creepy crawlies. Let's keep going with the flowers, with these cute puffy circles, and changing up the hue, changing up the shape. Have some overlapping, have some touching. I say change up the size. Did I say change up the size? Well, I'm looking at my reference, and the thing is that actually all of them have the exact same size. When you look at an actual sprig of wattle, they are pretty much all exactly the same size. That's how they grow. But I suppose you can take a little bit of artistic liberty. And this is where a reference picture really helps me not make everything too uniform and too even. When I first started painting, I realized when painting botanicals, flowers or leaves, trees, anything in nature is tricky because for once we're forced to paint, or we're forced to arrange things in a more random manner rather than evenly spaced out, even sized. We're forced to, well, not forced, but you're encouraged to just be more naturally spacing things out a bit more naturally and not making things super even. and then just the practice of that has taught me how to, and the understanding that nature is basically that which is not spaced out, not perfect. How imperfect nature really is. It's like perfectly imperfect. It's crazy. It's actually totally chaotic, it seems at times. Like that can't possibly be any natural or proper patterns in those things, but they actually are. So to try to recreate nature is a meditation in itself, because you are trying to recreate something that is natural and organic and special in its own very sacred way. Going in with some leaves now, some more leaves, mixing up mixture of all the different greens I have. And trying to get the leaves to fall in different directions. To go across the stems, to and I know I'm being very quiet now, but that's because I'm just really enjoying this part where sometimes you just don't need words to describe this flowy part of a painting. All right, I need to extend the stem a little bit more because it's kind of just cuts off right here, and it's totally fine to go in right now. Actually going to darken the entire stem a little bit. And maybe it's too dark. Using a clean, slightly damp brush to lift. At this point, I can go in with more yellow and just fill up any spots that feel a bit empty with more wattle. Just being careful not to overcrowd. And because most of this is already dry, you can go in and layer some wattle that maybe is coming slightly behind one of the existing ones. just feeling like I want to make a few more leaves in the background that is slightly lighter in value, more of a green gold. Just to have a bit more of an interest. And is that it? It's my wattle painting. That's done. There we have it. This is my golden wattle watercolor painting. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe. Please also follow me on Instagram at Crystal Town Art, and I'll see you in the next video.